This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Hey everybody, welcome back. Today, I want to talk about Donald Trump's presser that he held on the White House on the lawn there on Sunday. And in doing so, well, one, we're going to talk about the selfishness of Donald Trump, the arrogance of Donald Trump, the narcissism of Donald Trump, the what about me? I need to be appreciated. It's about me, the ratings, it's all of this I want to talk about. And in doing so, I want to play several clips and then prove Donald Trump being a filthy liar several times. But in doing so, like I said, I'm going to be playing a lot of clips. And some of them are a little longer because I want to give context. Because I got a lot of hate listeners, a lot of hate watchers, a lot of MAGA morons who watch this and seethe with anger about the truth that I'm telling. But I want it in full context so no one will have the opportunity to say, oh, well, you took that clip out of context. You clipped that off before he said what he said. What he meant to say was, none of that. But in the bottom of the screen, I'm going to put a countdown ticker so you know how much longer, how much left of the clip there is. So you can fast forward through his BS if you choose to. But I would really recommend watching this, not for any YouTube algorithm reason, but just so you're armed with the facts, you're armed with the truth. So when people that you encounter in your actual real life, whether it be on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, or people you know, maybe family members, when they say something wrong or stupid, you're able to counter. It's one thing if you just share the video to them and then hope that they get through it. That's not really good enough. It's better if you take them on with the knowledge that you've learned based on everything I'm getting ready to lay out here. Obviously, it's awesome if you share a video. That's great. But it's not always as effective. Because people aren't going to take the time to sit through however long this video is going to be. I have no idea, since we're just going along here. So anyway, I would encourage you to always counter false information, misinformation, propaganda, lies that MAGA supporters repeat because of their Lord and Savior, Donald Trump. So several things happened the other day at the presser. One was his encounter with an outstanding reporter named Yamiche Alcindor. Another one was Jeremy Diamond. And then the other one that I'm going to play is kind of a softball, not a kind of a softball, an absolute softball that was tossed up to Donald Trump from One America News, this idiot outfit out of San Diego, I believe, that Tommy Lahren used to work for, and now that the Pizzagate conspiracy theory idiot works for. And for a time, Corey Lewandowski got a job there as well. So let's start with clip one. And the clip one isn't Donald Trump. Clip one is Anthony Fauci, who is, up to this point, the most knowledgeable, the most clear-headed and clear-thinking individual related to this entire COVID situation that we're dealing with. And in this clip, he talks about what his estimate. There are models that have like 2.2 million people dying in the United States, and there are some that have less than that. But he projects 100 to 200,000 deaths as a result of the coronavirus in the United States.
Whenever the modelers come in, they give a worst case scenario and a best case scenario. Generally, the reality is somewhere in the middle. I've never seen a model of the diseases that I've dealt with, which the worst case scenario actually came out. They always overshoot. Looking at what we're seeing now, I would say between 100 and 200,000 cases, but I don't want to be held to that because it's deaths. I mean, we're going to have millions of cases, but I just don't think that we really need to make a projection when it's such a moving target that you can so easily be wrong.
Now, I play that to put things in perspective. This is what we're dealing with here. Real world, real life and death consequences real families, real Americans are being affected by this. Their lives turned upside down. Loved ones dying at the hands of this virus. And in the wake of that, with the knowledge of that, Donald Trump still is obsessing on the ratings. He's still refusing to place calls to governors because they don't treat him well, or they don't appreciate him enough. He needs to be appreciated to do his job. Let's start with Yamiche Alcindor from PBS, formerly of the New York Times, in an exchange where Donald Trump denies that he questions whether or not certain governors around the country actually need the supplies that they say they need.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have two questions. The first is, you've said repeatedly that you think that some of the equipment that governors are requesting, they don't actually need. You said New York might not need 30,000. You said it on Sean Hannity's Fox News. You said
that
why
don't you people act? Let me ask you.
You said
why
some
don't
states.
Why don't you act in a little more positive? It's always trying to
My
get you.
question to you
Get you. And you know what? That's why nobody trusts the media anymore.
My
That's
question
why
to you
people,
is, how is that going to impact?
Excuse me, you didn't hear me. That's why you used to work for the Times and now you work for somebody else. Look, let me tell you something. Be nice. Don't
Mr.
be
President, my
threatening.
question
Don't
is-
be threatening. Be nice. Go
My
ahead.
question is, how is that going to impact how you fill these orders for ventilators or for masks? Your
not gonna
views that
impact.
you're not going to, it's not going to
We're
impact you at
producing
all.
tremendous numbers of ventilators. We're doing a great job on it. Mike Pence, our vice president, has headed up the task force, which has been incredible, the job they've done. We have, when journalists get up, and you're a journalist, a fine journalist, when journalists get
from
up
Sean Hannity.
and ask questions that are so threatening.
I was quoting
we're all
you
on the
directly
same
from your
team.
interview with Sean Hannity.
Take a look at my interview. What I want to do is, if there is something wrong, we have to get to the bottom of it. When I hear face masks go from 10,000 to 300,000 and they constantly need more, and the biggest man in the business is like shocked. He knows all about the virus, by the way. He's not surprised by that. He knows all about it. He shouldn't be surprised. He should say, well, that's standard, because this is really a very tough disease. This is really a very tough virus to handle. Okay,
Mr.
please,
President,
go ahead.
my second
Go ahead.
question.
That's enough.
Is,
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, my second
Please. That's enough.
So in there, Yamiche says to him, listen, I'm just quoting you. I'm just saying what you've said in this last week, an interview with Sean Hannity. And Donald Trump denies, I never said that. I've never said that. Here he is. Here's the proof that Donald Trump, we all know, is a filthy, disgusting, compulsive liar. Here's more evidence of it.
You know, when you talk about ventilators, that's sort of like buying a car. It's very expensive. It's a very intricate piece of equipment. You know what it is, heavily computerized, and, the good ones are very, very expensive. And, they'd say, like Governor Cuomo and others, they'd say, we want, 30,000 of them. 30,000. Think of this. You go to hospitals, they'll have one in a hospital. And now all of a sudden everybody's asking for these vast numbers. So, but we have now companies stepping up, and they're building them. They're doing the masks. We've already delivered millions and millions of masks. But remember, we're really a second line of attack. The first line of attack is supposed to be the hospitals and the local government and the states themselves. I mean, we have people like Governor Inslee. He should be doing more. He shouldn't be relying on the federal government. Governor Inslee, that's the state of Washington. He was a failed presidential candidate, and, he's always complaining. And your governor of Michigan, I mean, she's not stepping up. I don't know if she knows what's going on, but all she does is sit there and blame the federal government. She doesn't get it done, and we send her a lot. Now she wants a declaration of emergency, and, we'll have to make a decision on that. But Michigan is a very important state. I love the people of Michigan, what they do. I'm the one, I'm bringing back many, many car factories into Michigan, and she is a new governor, and it's not been pleasant. And, you look around and you see what's going on. And by the way, most governors have been fantastic, I have to tell you. Most of them, whether it's Democrat or Republican. But we've really had some trouble with the state of Washington. the governor. He's he ran for president, didn't exactly do well. He got 0. And we've had a big problem with a woman governor from, you know who I'm talking about, from Michigan. So we can't, we don't like to see the complaints. And I am getting along with Governor Cuomo. I think that a lot of things are being said that are more. I don't think that certain things will materialize. And, a lot of equipment's being asked for that I don't think they'll need. But I'm building, we're building 4 hospitals.
Yeah, a lot of things are being said that are more. A lot of equipment are being asked for that I don't think they'll need. Because he goes off his gut feeling that New York isn't going to need tens of thousands of ventilators that the experts say they will. That's the epicenter right now of the coronavirus infections in the United States, is New York State, New York City in particular. But Donald Trump doesn't, I just don't think that's going to be the case. And then he denies having said it. And then, insult to injury, the very next day, this morning, he goes on Fox and Friends with those knuckleheads and says the exact same thing that he denied during the presser on Sunday, that he denied having said just the week before. Watch this.
A number of days later, why aren't you using these ventilators? I don't know what happened, but we delivered thousands of them, and we've delivered them to a lot of people. There's a whole question about that. I think New York should be fine. Based on the numbers that we see, they should have more than enough. I mean, I'm hearing stories that they're not used or they're not used right, but when we find anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 that have been sent and aren't used, we've done a job. Now, we're still getting more ventilators. We're going to have, after this is over, they'll be selling ventilators for $1 a piece. We'll have a lot of them.
I think New York should be fine. I think they have more than enough. Donald Trump is endangering lives because he won't listen to experts. If someone disagrees with his hunch that is based on nothing but feelings, because he has no expertise, if they disagree with him, he gets butthurt about it and treats them poorly and starts allocating resources in a different manner than he should as president of the United States, representing the entire country, every state, not just the red ones. Because right now, Florida's getting everything they want. Florida, DeSantis, who never has a cross word to say about Donald Trump because they are simpatico, moronic simpatico. They're getting everything, while states like Michigan and Washington, New York, are getting screwed. Let's go to a clip of Jeremy Diamond. And he's asking about Donald Trump having said that he wants to be appreciated. He wants them to treat them well. And if not, he's not going to call those states. Again, to this point of his attitude toward governors, if they're not in the same political party, and not even if they're not in the same political party, if they're not kissing his ass.
I'd also like to ask you about some comments you made on Friday. You were talking about governors of different states, and you said, I want them to be appreciative. You also said, if they don't treat you right, I don't call. These are direct quotes, sir.
Excuse me. Ready? Take a look at what I said. I want them to be appreciative of me, okay? And then you cut it off because it's fake news.
You and of your administration,
Listen,
absolutely.
Please, let me just finish. You just said it again, and the answer's a lie.
I could read you your full comments, sir,
let me
if
just
that
say,
would be easier.
Your statement and your response and your answer is a lie. Because here's the story. You ready? I said, I want you to be appreciative of me. And then you go on, and then I go on, and you cut it off. But it says,
you said,
because
I
when
want
you're
them
not,
to be appreciative. I don't want them to say things that aren't true. I want them to be appreciative. We've done a great job. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about Mike Pence, the task force. I'm talking about FEMA, the Army Corps of Engineers.
Thank you.
But then you went on to say, if they don't treat you right, I don't call. He's a different type of person.
I don't
you
call.
Said, referring to the
No, I
vice
don't
president.
call. No, I don't call the governor of Washington
Why in
now.
this time?
But Mike Pence calls, and the head of FEMA calls. I don't stop them. Did I ever ask you to do anything negative, Mike, to Washington, the state of Washington? Michigan, I love that state. That's one of my favorite places in the whole world, Michigan. And I'm so proud of what's happened with the auto industry. It's coming back to Michigan. No, I don't have to call because I'm probably better off not, because we don't get, he's a failed presidential candidate. He's a nasty person. I don't like the governor of Washington. So you know who calls? I get Mike Pence to call. I get the head of FEMA to call. I get the admiral to call. But what you didn't say, see, you started it off and you talked about, I have to be appreciated. But then when you read the rest, it said, because if you don't appreciate, you're not respecting these incredible people, the two admirals, you're not appreciating FEMA and the Army Corps of Engineers who built 2,900 beds in 3.5 days, and you're not appreciating all of the work that's been done, and you're not appreciating these incredible people from private enterprise that are delivering things in numbers that nobody's ever seen. See, and that's why people aren't watching CNN very much anymore. That's why they don't like it. That's why your ratings are no good. Because you, even after knowing the truth for days now, you bring up the old lie. Read the rest of your question, the rest of your statement, you didn't put in. You have to put that in. And it said in there, FEMA, and it said in there, Army Corps of Engineers, because when they disrespect me, they're disrespecting our government. And you know what? I don't mind if I'm disrespected, but they can't disrespect the Army Corps of Engineers and FEMA. Okay.
Why is the lack of appreciation?
Please, go ahead. I want them to appreciate the incredible job we're doing. We are doing a job the likes of which has never been done before. And there are a couple of people that know that. But for political reasons, let's say they're Democrats. They don't want to give this administration credit, and that's okay. But I don't have to deal with them. But our vice president does deal with them. Please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr.
But that's
President.
why CNN is not trusted anymore. They are not trusted. They are fake news. Remember that. Go ahead.
Once again, he denies saying what he said. He denies saying that he wants to be appreciated by the governors. And if they don't treat you right, I don't call. Well, here's another instance of Donald Trump being an unmitigated disaster and filthy liar. Here he is. What's the date? Last week. Here he is saying the very thing he just denied to Jeremy Diamond.
Mike Pence, Mike Pence, I don't think he sleeps anymore. These are people that should be appreciated. He calls all the governors. I tell him, I'm a different type of person. I say, Mike, don't call the governor of Washington. You're wasting your time with him. Don't call the woman in Michigan. Well, it doesn't make any difference what happens.
The governor of Washington?
No, you know what I say? If they don't treat you right, I don't call. He's a different type of person. He'll call quietly anyway, okay? But he's done a great job. He should be appreciated for the job he's done. Yes, ma'am.
What is it that drives someone to deny something that is on tape, that is on video, that can easily be drawn up? That's a sickness. That's an illness inside his brain, right? Or is it just such arrogance? Record-setting levels of arrogance that he believes that he can bend the actual facts of the situation with his will. I tell him, I say, Mike, don't call the governor of Washington. You're wasting your time with him. Don't call the woman in Michigan. You know what I say? If they don't treat you right, I don't call. Which is in direct contravention of what he just said he'd said. Well, I just said I don't call. Mike calls. But he's saying right here, I tell him, I say, Mike, don't call, Mike Pence, don't call the governor of Washington. You're wasting your time with him. Right now, the infection numbers in Washington are as such, as of right now. And I'm going to put numbers up on the screen here. And they might be higher than what I'm saying, because I'm saying what the numbers are as I'm speaking. But by the time I put the video together and edit the clips together, they might be different. As of right now, Washington State, 4,896 confirmed cases with 195 deaths. Do the math there. That's a high mortality rate. Michigan, another state that's not going to get called because they don't treat him right. The Americans in Michigan are being neglected by Donald Trump because their governor, according to him, doesn't treat him right. Michigan's death toll is 132, with 5,486 confirmed cases. But Donald Trump needs appreciation before he'll do the job that he was elected to do, to represent all Americans, not just the idiots who voted for him. Next up is that clip from One American News. The ding-dong who asked them the question about ratings. He gave her another shot to answer a question earlier, and she blew it, tossing up a softball for him to answer. And he's always saying, thank you for such a nice question. Oh, thank you. Tossing this up to him for him to brag about not only the ratings, and then acts like he doesn't care about the ratings, but we're going to get to some tweets, but about how these people who work at the CDC, these immunologists, epidemiologists, these doctors, these physicians, that they're becoming stars because of the high ratings of the press conferences, that people are only watching because they fear the situation. They're desperate, yearning for information to keep themselves and their families safe. But Donald Trump takes it as this is a reality show and I'm getting great ratings.
Back, please.
Mr. President, thank you. Earlier this afternoon, you had tweeted that there are on average 8.5 million Americans tuned into these daily press briefings. Yet there are some networks out there that are, concerned about taking these briefings.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. No, I've read that.
What do you say to
well,
these
I've read
detractors?
that CNN doesn't want to cover them. I've read that, except they can't help them because the ratings are so high. If the ratings were low, they wouldn't be here. This man wouldn't be here. In 100 years, you could bet your life that he would never be here with CNN and all their cameras if they're bad, because we help their ratings. We lift up their ratings because their ratings are very low. But for the most part, I haven't heard that. I will say the Washington Post has a drive on not to go to the President of the United States news conference because, frankly, so many people are watching. We're getting the word out. We're getting the accurate word out. And a lot of people are happy about it, and a lot of people aren't. But they should be happy. When I have the General, when I have Seema, and when I have Tony, and when I have our incredible, these are all like people that have become big stars, okay? But they've done a great job. But Deborah has done a fantastic, all of these people, they don't want to be stars. You know what they want? They want to win. They want to win the battle against the virus. They've been fighting this stuff their whole life. Between Ebola and swine flu and, I don't know, I'm not sure I'd love your life, but that's what you like, right? That's what they do. They fight disease. And you know what? There's nobody that does it better. But I think the American public, ultimately, they should be the decider. It's like, if they don't want to watch, they shouldn't watch. And we shouldn't have bigger ratings than The Bachelor, or, as the New York Times said, we have Monday Night Football type ratings. Now, I didn't say that. I have no idea what they are, in a sense, but I know that the Times, they say it's all the news that's fit to print. I say it's all the news that's not fit to print, because I think they are not honest people. But that's okay. But they can't help it. But even they said that the ratings are like Monday Night Football ratings, and that these are like Bachelor finale. That's their end. When the big deal happened, I have no idea what happened because I'm too busy working on this. Somebody will tell me what happened. So, no, I think it's terrible. When they don't want the President of the United States to have a voice, you're not talking about democracy any longer. Please. Thank you very much.
Did you hear him there at the end? Talking about the ratings. Now, I didn't say that. I have no idea what they are. In a sense, I don't know what the ratings are. In a sense, he says. But I know the Times. And then he goes on to talk about the Monday Night Football ratings and the Bachelor finale ratings, that he's beating them. Completely detached from the fact that we are going through a pandemic right now, where likely 1 million or more individuals in the United States will contract this virus. That even Anthony Fauci says up to, in his estimation, 200,000 Americans will die because of it. And Donald Trump is obsessed with the ratings. In fact, he tweeted as like a teaser for the press conference, he tweeted this. Because the ratings of my news conferences, etc., are so high, Bachelor finale, Monday Night Football type numbers, according to the New York Times, the lamestream media is going crazy. Quote, Trump is reaching too many people. We must stop him, said one lunatic. See you at 5 p.m. Who's okay with this? Who's okay with a man so insecure? He's already president of the United States of America, but he's still just cripplingly insecure. So much so that he needs to talk about the ratings of press conferences, of vehicles for information to the American people and the world about the situation and how, whether or not he's got it handled. He also went on a tweet jag, quoting someone. I know people are going to say, well, he didn't say that. He quoted someone saying it. The fact that he gave it space on his Twitter timeline as president means it's on his mind. It's important to him. In the midst of this pandemic, that is what he's focused on. He tweeted, President Trump is a ratings hit. Since reviving the daily White House briefing, Mr. Trump and his coronavirus updates have attracted an average audience of 8.5 million on cable news, roughly the viewership of the season finale of The Bachelor. Numbers are continuing to rise. On Monday, nearly 12.2 million people watched Mr. Trump's briefing on CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC, according to Nielsen. Monday Night Football numbers. Millions more are watching on ABC, CBS, NBC, and online streaming sites, and the audience is expanding. On Monday, Fox News alone attracted 6.2 million viewers for the president's briefing, an astounding number for a 6 p.m. cable broadcast, more akin to the viewership for a popular primetime sitcom. The CBS News poll said 13% of Republicans trusted the news media for information about the virus. This is dangerous. It's not just aggravating. It's not just perversely amusing. This is dangerous. Because Donald Trump already isn't able to handle the cognitive load of dealing with real-world problems that face everyday Americans. And when he diverts attention from the task at hand to things like the ratings or whether governors are treating him well, it puts all of us in danger. I'd like to know what you think. You can call me, 714-576-4054. Leave a voicemail there, questions, comments. You can also email me at daily@dollemore.com. Email a regular old email. You can also record a voice memo on your smartphone and email it to daily@dollemore.com. Listen, I believe that right now it is more important than ever to support not just voices like mine or my voice, but also voices like mine, independent media sources. There's several out there. I've said this before that I would encourage you to at least consider becoming a channel member and supporting, whether here on YouTube or Patreon. I've got a Patreon account, PayPal on my website, dollemore.com. But if I'm not your favorite, if I don't provide you the value that someone else does, support that person. If it's within your means, if you don't have to budget it in. Things are crazy right now. Things are tough. People are losing their jobs, and that's terrible. So don't put yourself in a tough position. But independent media voices like mine and others are very important right now because they have these pressers, and the media, it's really not their job to clap back and call Donald Trump a dumb shit and start arguing with the president. That's not their role. It's my role. So I'm filling the void. I'm stepping into the gap and the chasm that's left by whatever professional etiquette that is required of journalists. Because Donald Trump is a dangerous dumb shit. He is a garbage human. And he's endangering everyone. And Jim Acosta just can't say that. Yamiche Alcindor from PBS, she can't say that. Jeremy Diamond from CNN, he really can't say that. And keep a job. But I can. So anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate every single one of you. Stay safe out there. Be genuine. Be good to one another. Right now, in times like this, we need to wrap our arms around one another, whether it be figuratively or metaphorically or not. We need each other more now than ever. So I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot, you guys.